black lumberjacks.
Yes!
I'm so disgusted.
Yes! What an axe on my shoulder right here. Oh yeah, I love it.
I always look like black lumberjacks. Yeah. What's up, Internet World? We're the News 19 Nerds. I'm Leroy.
We're matching.
Shut up, man.
It's wonderful.
I hate it.
It's great. The power's here. I'm Michael. Yeah.
Wish I could take this thing off.
It's wonderful. We didn't plan this.
No, but I should have known because you always wear that when it gets cold, and I was just like...
Yeah. Yeah. But aside from us being twins, what are we talking about?
I don't even want to talk to you now.
That's fine. We're talking about The Outsider episode 6. Did you hear the one about the Yiddish vampire?
Yes, that's what it's called.
That's a great title. I just like that. Overall thoughts. We'll do non-spoilers first and then spoilers later. This show is it's starting to pick up a little bit, and I'm liking that personally.
Okay.
I complained before in the past of how the pacing was. Somebody had said, "Man, you got to have patience," and I agree. Patience too. I understand that you got to have patience, but I still wanted more things to happen, and now things are finally starting to pick up and move, and it's just like, ooh, what's going to happen? Where are we going? This episode stuff kind of finally came to the front in terms of people kind of all being on the same page, or at least knowing what everybody knows.
See, I guess that's where we disagree, because I've always liked the pacing. I've always enjoyed where this show has gone and telling this story, because I feel like the way that they have written this show and explained it to us, it gives it more weight when we get to this point. Laying the groundwork for who Terry Maitland is, Jason Bateman's character, his death, the effect that it has had. I felt like you needed that to understand where we're going, because as Holly has done her investigation, we're now at a point where we're like, it makes sense why the show was built the way it was, and why in my opinion, the pacing was done the way it was, because once everybody has all the same information, whether you want to believe or not believe that a supernatural entity did this, how people will respond is based on how the episodes are written in the beginning, because each person has dealt with this entity in their own way, whether they are just, I'm out, or if they're like, they want to learn more, or they are, in some instances, Jack Hoskins is possessed. So you see people who are...
Is he possessed? What's the term for Jack?
Controlled?
Controlled. Because when I think of possessed, I feel like some type of spirit is in him. I don't know if it's spirit.
You think exorcism?
Kind of, when I think of possession.
Well, controlled. The creature has some type of control or hold over him. So each person deals with it differently. I think this episode was wonderfully directed by, I'm trying to remember the lady's name, Karen Kusama. She's directed quite a few other things, like there's a indie film called The Invitation. She did Girl Fight. She did something else. She does a great job. She's also directed other shows. I think that she did a very good job with this show in the sense of how the shots were laid out. The close-up shots of different people as they were experiencing and having conversations, I thought was different. I know for us, the job that we have here, there are times that you say, why did you do this or why did you do that? I never disagreed with the shot selection in this show, in this episode. That had more of a creepy horror element that maybe some of the other ones had, but it was really in your face. Yeah.
I think everybody, in terms of acting performance, is giving it their all. There are scenes where we characters finally meet face to face they haven't met before, which is really great. And to see them play off of each other, and you knew there was going to be friction just based on what was going to happen, but I didn't know how it was exactly how it was going to go down, and it was cool to see it unfold with the stuff. Kind of like what you're saying about how everybody reacted differently. It was cool to see everybody's different take on it. Going also back to what Karen did with the shooting of framing everybody. You're like, this person's going to do it this way, and then so the shot is that way. It's really cool.
Well, that's why I said, that's where me and you, we disagree because I felt like the pacing was perfect for this show and these episodes because we're in episode 6.
Mm-hmm.
You're now clamoring for more information for this final meeting with all parties involved who had an interest in figure out what exactly happened. Because what we're talking about is a man cannot be in 2 places at one time. And we knew that from the trailer. We saw that when you see all of these different parts, you realize the trailer itself for the show was edited. It was an expert edit job because you thought that would be early on in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
If you're watching that, you come to this idea of preconceived notion of, oh, so she's probably gonna be in part of the investigation. We didn't meet Holly Gibney until episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't get to the meat of her investigation until episode 4, 5,
mm-hmm.
and so now we're at the point where she's delivering her findings. The weight of these findings would not have mattered if we hadn't seen the actual work to get to this point. The actual police work that went into it that said, oh, here's the forensics, where basically everyone knows something's up. They just haven't come to that realization that it is an outsider. They
mm-hmm.
Some people want to believe it was...
Has to be a human.
Well, not just has to be human, it has to be Terry. We have the physical evidence. It has to be Terry. Then other people were like, screw that. It can't be Terry. Mm-hmm. He literally was someplace else. How does your mind reconcile these two things? In the first 2 episodes, we saw the district attorney, I'm out.
Yeah,
case closed. I don't need to know. It's one of those things that I don't need to know anything more. Mm-hmm. We have our guy, or do we? Either way, he's dead. It's over.
Yeah.
And that's how the creature is able to survive, exist. Because every single time something happens, everyone chalks it up as, mm-hmm. Because we are now at a point in our society where we don't believe in these things anymore. We believe in forensic evidence. And you have a man like Ralph who knows something is hinky. He knows something's a little off, but he can't square in his own mind, his heart, how did this happen?
Right.
And how did I miss it? Right. And everybody's coming to that. And that's why I said, for me, and I know some people, because, and again, I can understand people wanting a little bit more. For me, I love the pacing of the show to get to this point, because now you're at the point of what's going to happen next, and it's only 9 episodes.
Is it 9 or is it 10?
I thought it was 9. I could be mistaken.
I don't know.
10 episodes. I apologize. 10 episodes. Yeah. I thought it was 9. We're at episode 6. There's only 4 left. We got 4 weeks of this show,
mm-hmm.
and we're now at a crossroads. Like right now, we're at an episode where we're at a crossroads of who's going to come over to the side of this is supernatural,
mm-hmm.
who's going to stay in the real world and say the world of tangible reality and say that's not possible. I'm going to keep looking.
Yeah. What
happens next?
And there's a go ahead.
No.
There's a big sense of tension of, because you feel like if everybody's on the same page, mm-hmm. they could probably beat this creature easily, right?
Yes.
If everybody was together, but the fact that, and I'm sure the creature or whatever realizes that by keeping these people separated, that's how he's able, or it is able to stay ahead of everything. And you wonder, are they going to come together in time, or something that you said in a few, you might have said it the last one. Whitney's sick, y'all. That's why she's not on this one, just in case people ask.
Yeah.
But on the last episode, our review, you were like, if they don't come together in time, maybe the creature gets away.
Yeah.
Which it's entirely possible.
Well, not only does the creature get away, and this is why for me, I say, depending on how it ends, right now, this could be a series. This could be because we realize that this creature has existed from early episodes. This creature has killed and feasted 3 times 2 other times, Scott, like no one paid any attention.
Mm-hmm.
We can say right now, no one's checking for it. It knows no one's checking for it until now.
Mm-hmm.
Until right now that there was tangible evidence that this man was in 2 places at one time.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, can these people reconcile living in a world where evil exists? We've always had that question of devils, demons, and it's really interesting that they called this thing the Yiddish vampire. We always live in a world where we have fairy tales, wives' tale, whatever you want to call it. But now you have to live in a world where those things and those people who believed in them weren't crazy.
Right.
And I don't know, because some of these people may not be able to reconcile that. That is, when you think about that, and the reason why I guess we take it with a little bit more weight than, say, a Supernatural or a CW show like The Flash. This show is presented as if it was living, as if it happened in the real world.
Right. Very grounded in reality.
And that is what these characters are having to deal with. Not only the trauma that has been inflicted on it by whatever the El Coco is, but also having real world consequences of a death of somebody that you know is accused of committing a heinous act.
Mm-hmm.
And not only you reconcile the act itself, you now have to reconcile if this person actually did it, or do you suspend belief in that and say he didn't do it, something else did.
Yeah.
So that's this episode to me is very, it's not, some people will call it filler. Some people call it filler.
This one?
Some people call it filler because it gave you just enough, but nothing big happened.
Mm-hmm. See?
That's
interesting.
I guarantee you some people would be like, oh, they just talked. Like nothing happened. Like the last episode, something happened. That guy ended up getting killed, suicide by a cop.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you had these revelations. You had the moment where Ralph's wife saw the creature. And you had, so a lot of people might say, this isn't, the next episode's the one. But this is a meaty, weighty episode.
Yeah.
Because it asked the question of, basically, where do you stand? Because we saw from the trailer, Ralph was upset. I'm just going to do, normal, do cop stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Ralph wasn't feeling nothing.
Nah, he wasn't on board. He wasn't on board.
Yeah. But look, we're still loving the show overall,
yeah,
right? Yeah, still loving it.
Yeah,
Want more.
I'm definitely loving it. It's McDonald's. That's their slogan, isn't it?
I know that. So not spoilers? I mean, spoilers now?
Yeah.
All right. Getting into spoiler territory here. Spoiler
Like
hands.
black lumberjacks.
Yes!
I'm so disgusted.
Yes! What an axe on my shoulder right here. Oh, yeah, I love it.
I always look like black lumberjacks.
Yeah.
This is the episode, and I said some people will think this is filler. I disagree with that statement because this is the episode the Justice League comes together, who have been off on their own little investigations and dealing with their own things, and you basically have to pick a side.
Yeah.
This is the episode where now you're being called out because you've been wondering, how is this possible? You've now been given an opportunity to say, that's how. Mm-hmm. How do you respond?
I just really enjoyed that scene of them all coming together because even the teaser trailer kind of gave you something, but it didn't do it justice, and I like that. There was just so much more to it than just what we got in the teaser.
Because all you got was Glory's reaction.
Right.
Is this how you plan to clear my husband?
Yeah.
The boogeyman.
Yeah. Which was really great. Holly goes in there. Well, Holly's on this bus because she can't drive anymore. She doesn't want to drive.
Well, her car broke down.
Oh, yeah, her car broke down.
Not that she didn't want to drive. Her car broke down.
Yeah.
Because of the situation. She was stuck in traffic.
Right.
I don't know if it overheated or what happened, but she didn't.
Right.
She had the experience on the bus.
Yes, with the I don't know, can't remember the guy's name, but the black guy who killed himself.
I have it on a sheet of paper.
Okay.
The
suicide by cop man appeared to her in a vision, and now
because I take notes during the show.
Fair enough. Now, we know the creature. That's a creature called
Tracy Powell.
Okay, we know the creature is calling to her, right? We have that established now. The creature is able to.
It's
make
able to
visions.
communicate. It's able to communicate with people.
Right, and it seems like it's able to communicate with whatever. If the creature is thing A, and a person is thing B, it can take whatever is in thing B's head and make that person appear. Because the creature never saw Jack's mom, but we know saw the Jack. Never saw Ralph's son, but had the son appear.
Well,
So it's almost like it can go into your memories and
well,
figure out what is important to you.
But this is where I'm wondering, and this is where I said I personally wonder if it's because of its connection to Jack. Because no, it never saw never saw Jack's mom to use Jack's mom, but it's directly connected to Jack.
Yeah.
It didn't. It's seen Ralph, but it doesn't need to know Ralph has a son because Jack knows that Ralph had a son. In other words, how much of it does it know from whatever it attached itself to Jack? Mm-hmm. How much of the information in Jack's mind does it have? Because Jack can walk around and see, which means it can see.
Right.
So Tamika's baby. Mm-hmm. Jack knows whatever I see, it can see. Mm-hmm. So it would be interesting that through its different people, I can get to you because of my connection between these different people.
Yeah. But so Holly gets on the bus. She has this vision from the Tracy Powell mm-hmm. Telling her to watch out for a possible collision that doesn't really happen. The bus kind of skids along, stops. I thought the bus driver was going to kick her off at one point. I was like, oh, is he going to kick her off? And then how's she going to get there? But no, she gets to her location. Or she gets to the bus stop. Mm-hmm. And Jack is the one who picks her up because Ralph tells Jack to pick her up.
Well, because Jack says, I want to be a part of the investigation.
Right.
And now we know Jack has some issues. He's been going through it with his ex. I don't know if they're divorced yet, but I know he's split from his spouse. Mm-hmm. They're no longer together. And people think that's what's affecting him. As Jack picks up Holly, they're sitting down talking, and she can see there's something wrong. She's intuitive. But she believes at first it's whatever going on with the wife, the spouse.
See, I thought that even though he said that, she didn't believe it.
She didn't believe it. There was something else going on.
Yeah.
But I felt like she was smart enough to know, don't pull on that thread.
Right. Nothing you can do about it right now.
Yeah, because you don't. And another thing too is I think she was smart enough to realize when she told Jack, we kept asking about what do you know. I don't know when I'm going to need you down the line. Mm-hmm. Because she knew that whatever she was going to say in this meeting was going to be controversial, and I'm going to basically need some allies. Someone is going to have to believe me mm-hmm. in order for me to continue going.
Right.
Now, I don't know if she realized that Jack would be the one person who didn't believe her.
Right.
For his own selfish reasons.
Right. But she gets to the meeting point. She sets it up, and it's everybody is just on fire. And I hope when awards season comes around, this show gets some type of Emmy consideration.
Oh yeah.
Because is there an Emmy for best cast, or is that just like a Golden Globe? I don't know. Whatever it is, mm-hmm. but this cast is phenomenal, and this scene just sells it. In terms of her laying out this story, mm-hmm. With all the research she has, and she knows she's a very analytical person. You said she knows how crazy she sounds as she's saying it, but these are the facts in front of her.
Well, these are the things, these are the connections that she's found. Mm-hmm. She believes them to be facts. She mm-hmm. believes them to be facts because she believes that's where her investigation led. Mm-hmm. The problem is, everyone else can see it. It's just a matter of how long it's going to take them to come on board.
Yeah.
Because you could see some people were like, and then some people leaned up. You saw Alec Pelly.
Which one's Alec Pelly?
He's the detective.
Not the lawyer.
Alec Pelly's the detective. So Alec Pelly's the detective. You saw Jack. You saw Ben Mendelsohn, who was Ralph. Ralph was not. He wasn't hearing any of this. But you could tell even in Ralph's
Ralph looked
disdain,
like Martin Scorsese when Eminem came on stage.
even in Ralph's disdain, he was troubled by what he heard.
Yeah.
Because Ralph's the one who brought up the cut. Ralph's the one who brought up the scratch. So he knew something was up, because even they were trying to figure out, well, how in the world do you get forensic evidence? Even before Holly showed up, they were talking about it, trying to come to some type of conclusion that would fit this narrative.
Yeah. She lays it out, and then people, and it was funny because Glory says, hold on, I want to hear this.
Yeah.
And I was like, where's she going? I guess she just wants to hear just how outrageous it was. Like, I didn't get the point of her asking, I wanted to hear this.
She wanted to hear it because she's still under the, as the episode went further on, she doesn't know what to believe. She believes my husband didn't do this. But in order for you to believe your husband didn't do it, you have to believe someone else or something else did it. So what's the next logical step? Either you believe another human did this, or you come to the side of there's some supernatural entity out there who has done this. She's still coming to terms, and as the episode went, she was taking all the stuff out the drawer. She talked to Ralph. She isn't fully committed one side or the other, because she asked.
She hit that one line, which is great. Maybe he did it.
Yeah.
And then as soon as she said it, it's like she didn't want it to come out of her mouth. As soon as it came out, it just hit her.
Because,
I was like, man, that was great.
Because in order to admit he didn't do it, which you stand firm, you're telling your girl he didn't, then who did? Who framed your husband to set him up for this?
Yeah.
And even Ralph was like, I don't believe he did it. But then, so who did? And that was the part where I was like, everybody has to come to that realization on their own. Can lead a horse to water, can't make him drink.
Yeah.
Holly was like, that's what I got.
Shout out to CSI Holly Gibney over here with her spectrometer that she made on her phone.
Yep.
That was cool, man. I kind of want to try that.
The thing that got me was not, we'll get to that in a second, but Alec Pelly's conversation with the lawyer. When they basically, you had the description of why the Yiddish vampire was part of the title. Alec Pelly said, over the centuries, people have gotten called devils, demons, and witches. We know better to mistake humans for demons. What if we mistake a human for what if we mistake a demon for a human? And that's when I was like, I rewound that part maybe 4 or 5 times, because that was the one person that I was wondering when we first started watching. I said, Alec Pelly's going to have something. He's going to bring something, because he was the guy who cautioned them. She's good,
but she's weird. Yeah.
She's weird. And Alec was like, I've read up on this. And that's when I was like, that's it.
Yeah.
Little by little, because you saw Eunice. When she said what it was, Eunice,
yeah, he like the crucifixion.
He crossed up. He was like,
he
nope.
was like, no, this is real.
He's like, it's real. I'm out.
Yeah.
Ralph was still on the fence. You could tell he's weighing, something's weighing on him. Glory's on her side. But when Alex said that, that's when I was like, the defense had always been in the side of, not just because it was his client, he didn't do it. We can prove he wasn't there. So if he wasn't there and we saw the forensic evidence, then who was? Yeah. And that one moment right there with the Yiddish vampire, that was a great moment. For me, that was a great moment.
Yeah. To me, I really like standout moments where everybody coming together, Glory saying that and then wishing she hadn't said the thing about her husband doing it was really good. And then Holly's interaction with
Glory.
No.
Ben Mendelsohn's wife, Mare?
Jeannie.
Jeannie.
Yeah.
Mare Winningham.
Yeah, Jeannie and Ralph in their house, which was, I don't know if it was funny, but to me it kind of just like, oh, she's going to stay at the house now. Great, this is going to be fun. And it was, because Jeannie is on board with whatever this is. She doesn't know what it is, but it's something she can't explain. And they laid out those pictures.
Well, the funny thing about that is that I know everybody at home, because I know I was, is why Ralph never had the realization that these were the same people. That this was the same person. Because remember, the young kid had the picture. Ralph just chalked it up of he's BSing me. This is BS. He's scared. He doesn't want to admit whatever. His wife drew it. It's just a dream. He compartmentalized the fact that his wife had issues because of the death of their son. He compartmentalized, the kid saw this, and that he's trying to make up. He had never put the two pictures side by side until this episode. And really
the three pictures.
But he didn't see the third picture.
Oh, right, that happened in this episode. They drew that.
He didn't get to that. He just saw the two. And then Glory called him out and said, now you, like, because that's the one thing we were all waiting. Because remember, when he took Glory to the Minute Clinic, when she went in, he looked at the picture. And she told him that, I wasn't dreaming. I didn't say, I love you, go ahead, go. That moment where he looked at him side by side, it's that little chink. It's like that dam is starting to break. It's chipping away that little hole and that water shooting out. Because that was when he was like, okay. Then Glory saw the other picture. And that's when she knew she was on something.
Yeah.
And that's, not Glory, Jeannie saw that. And then she went to Glory. And she was like, okay, let me sit down with her. And that's when she realized something is going on. This person is real.
Yeah.
What she didn't realize was he wasn't really there. It was projecting, which made it even more scary because you realize this thing ain't never really been there.
Yeah.
It's just been it's just been getting to you, which is even worse.
So, I mean, how does it... I mean, there are still so many questions about how its powers work, right? Like, how is it able to project?
Well, remember, Holly said radio waves.
Yeah, she said, how heavy are radio waves?
She mentioned that. And the question comes now, if it's there, if it was there in the room, if we know it was in the house, Holly is starting to figure out it's changing. She saw the timeline. It's molting. It's changing. It's good. It's turning into something else. The question is, which person is it turning into? Is it turning into Jack, or is it turning into the strip club owner? Because we saw the strip club owner dealing with whatever. Jack could honestly be the red herring. Jack could just be the muscle.
Yeah.
And it actually could be he's turned it. Basically, Jack is the one who's just whatever.
You think Eunice is gonna make it? Because Eunice is listening. He's on board for whatever this is, and so far he's not the only one, but he's the one who's following the strip club owner right now. But like, what's going on with him?
I don't know, because the way the episode ended, and we have a situation where you have two people who've physically come in contact with whatever this is, El Coco, and we see the show setting up that the strip club owner is having issues. We're set up on the other side where Jack is really having issues. Like that room, his mom, like what is going, like.
And it's not a Fight Club thing, right? Like something is there beating him up. He's not beating himself up.
He's beating himself up.
You think he's beating himself up?
The creature, Holly said something that is very telling. And see, this is the thing, and one of our commenters noticed it. What Holly noticed was a cycle of feeding, molting, changing, and then moving on. It does certain things within a certain period of time. And what Holly's noticing is it is not strong enough. That's why it uses Jack. It has to have a muscle to do these things. That's why Tracy Powell was certain things it has to have other people do, because it's not in a state to do them. Jack is beating himself up because that creature's controlling Jack to get him to do what it wants him to do. And so this, whatever this is, it's got Jack. The problem is Jack is a strong individual. Jack ain't nobody to... Jack is the Wu-Tang Clan. Right. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing. That's Jack. Because he fought back when he wouldn't hold the baby.
Right.
He fought back when he saw the hands and he was like, and it said stop her. Jack is fighting it so hard. And that's why it visited its mom. Jack's mom visited him in that room and just tore him to pieces. Because it's like, you go do what I want you to do, or I'm going to break you in half. Because Jack thought he was good. Remember, he got up, he was shaving, and he picked up Holly. He was like, all right, I'm good.
Yeah.
And he touched it. He was good. He saw what Holly saw, and he knew if I don't do what it wants me to do, I'm dead.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Holly, and she's right. But I don't know. Like he's at a crossroads right now.
Yeah.
And you saw that from the trailer for the next episode.
There was a gun in his mouth.
Yep.
I was like, oh, what's going
Well,
to happen?
not only a gun in his mouth, no, let's just keep going.
Yeah, that's how the episode ended, which was really cool. You were like, oh, because Holly knows something's up. She's smart.
Holly
she saw
knows
the thing.
Holly knows that Holly knows that it is controlling Jack.
Yeah.
When she bent down, she knew for a fact that's Jack.
Mm-hmm.
That Jack is being controlled.
Yeah.
The question now becomes what, and I originally said Tracy Powell was still alive. I believe that he was still alive because there's a clip of Tracy Powell leading Holly down in some kind of some type of cave system.
Yeah. But that could be a vision.
And now we know it could be a vision.
Right.
Tracy Powell could still be dead. We know. I'm trying to. I got his name down. The guy that Holly has been crushing on.
Andy.
Andy. We know Andy.
Oh, Andy, make it, Andy.
I
don't think you will, but I want you to.
I'm just telling y'all. I don't know if Andy go.
Andy just loves him some Holly Gibney.
That's the.
He seems like a genuinely nice person, so he probably won't make it.
But what I tell y'all, HBO don't care about y'all feelings, man.
Yeah.
HBO gives nothing about your feelings. If this was the Mandalorian, they'd have put that baby Yoda in the wood chipper. Episode 6. It has just been called the wood chipper.
Jeez.
But yeah, Andy noticed something when he saw that paper, and they laid out what had happened. She noticed there's a molt time, a transformation, a feeding, moves on, and the reason why it moves on and it has to feed is because it's trying to change. It needs that. I'm interested to see what causes Ralph to come on board, because Ralph, the more Holly talked, because Holly, and goes back to your point when Holly said, "Do you not think I don't know how I sounded?"
That was a good sound. I mean, that was good. Yeah.
Ralph is conflicted. He told the counselor, "I saw my son." He told Holly, "I saw my son," and she said, "What did she say? Good night."
Yeah. She also said, "What did you say?"
And you gotta let him. You gotta let me go.
Yeah.
Which there was a creature saying,
right.
You gotta let me go.
Right.
What we haven't seen, everybody else has gotten something. We've seen Tamika, we've seen Jack, we've seen Ralph, we've seen Glory, not Glory, Jeannie. We've seen Holly. We haven't seen Glory have a meeting. That's the one that I've been waiting on. And I was under the impression when she started throwing all that stuff in the hallway, I thought it had gotten her, and I thought she was gonna set that house on fire.
Interesting.
Because that's when I was like, HBO don't care about y'all.
Yeah.
They don't care if you crying 9:30 and I didn't know this was gonna happen. Yeah. I really thought she was about to take some lighter fluid, and she was about to light that house up.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought that call was, going to Ralph. Ralph was like, that house is on fire.
Okay.
But it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Thankfully. Glory is the one person I feel like it has not reached out to. And I'm wondering why.
I wonder if it's still feeding off the misery of that family somehow. Maybe it doesn't.
This is the thing. It's taught to the girls. I mean, it's taught to them.
Yeah.
It hadn't taught to Glory. And what I'm wondering is, has it not taught the Glory? We know this thing feeds, and it is evil. Is it high enough? Is it evil in the sense of it has high enough functions that it says there's no need for me to torture you. You will do it for me.
I wonder if it's a thing of, if he talks to Glory, maybe that's the thing that Glory's like, oh,
yeah.
Now I do believe. And maybe he's worried about that too.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't talk to Glory because I don't need to.
Yeah.
Glory go torture herself.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing I want to see next. I want to see what pushes Ralph over the edge, because Ralph is right there. Ralph is right there on that edge.
Yeah.
There's so many different things that when Holly got her phone and saw all the stuff, and then was like, it's easy to get in the house if you're not really there. It's just a hologram. Hologram doesn't weigh anything. And it's something he never considered. because he's still trying to reconcile what that dream meant.
Right.
And then when she brought that up, that's when Holly saw, and she said, "What did it say to you?"
Yeah, Ralph was shook. Because what did he say? What was it he kept saying? It wasn't him?
It wasn't him.
It wasn't him. Yeah, I was like,
and so now we saw the trailer for the next episode. We know, and we saw the one thing that I was like, two things that I cannot wait for in the next episode. Holly told Ralph, why wasn't Tamika there?
Mm-hmm.
And said, you need to talk to her. 2, Ralph figures out Jack has our investigator.
He does say that, which is
and
cool.
What 2 things happens? Because you know if he talks to Tamika, Tamika's going to tell him,
Mm-hmm.
I saw a hooded figure steal my baby.
Mm-hmm.
That means that creature was reaching out to her. And that creature did not want Tamika and enough people there. The more people who are there, the more people knows about its existence.
Right.
So that's the episode I'm waiting for. And that's why I said sometimes I think some people would think that this was a filler episode because of that reason, because they so want to get to that next part.
Mm-hmm.
And I think John McKenna, or no, Mark Menchaca, who plays Jack Hoskins,
Mm-hmm.
and Cynthia Erivo, I think those 2, that is going to be an awesome episode just of acting in that conversation they're going to have, where she's trying to convince him, A, let me help you, and B, don't kill me.
Yeah. Yeah. Because we see him go out in the woods, and yeah, it's going to be good.
You see him struggling.
Yeah.
And I hate to say this, but man, Jack, I salute you, because I don't think you're going to make it out of this show. Jack ain't going to be in season 2.
Oh, man. Y'all, that's it for us. Loving this show. We can encourage you to watch it. Thank you to everybody who's been supporting us. We've seen growth on these episodes in terms of more people watching these episodes or watching our reviews of them. So that's cool. We'll continue to put them out. We'll have another one next week. But until that time, you can find us here on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, WOTex.com. Like, comment, subscribe. We're out.